way where you'll motion, Mary will motion, I'll call for a vote, you'll vote no. Mary, I didn't talk to her, so she'll vote yes. I'll vote no for that 832, and it won't go into the special board because it won't get passed.
Okay.
Okay,
I okay.
all right.
It doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
Well, how should we do it?
So we just need to change the wording, right?
We have to take out DEI.
Right.
It
So we
has
have
a
to take out
position,
language.
right?
So
So if we can't pass it,
no, but what we could do is table it. No, I guess because if you table it, you would be tabling as is. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So we'll just
Yeah, you're
not
right.
pass it through.
You're right. Sometimes you just gotta talk out loud.
I'd like to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for June 13th, 2023. First action is the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Call for the vote.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
We need another second. That's all right. You jumped the gun. Okay.
You
A
have
second
my,
from the finance, yes? we
yes,
have
you'll
it?
have my second, and Ms. Mills, I will be filling in for Ms. Schott. on your
Thank you.
committee. You have my second.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. A, we have a presentation this evening. We have the 2023-2024 school district proposal final budget. Ms. Diefendorfer.
Thank you. Can you guys bring that up for us, please? Good evening, school board directors and community members. Tonight, I'm sharing with you our budget, our final budget for the 23-24 school year. Next slide, please. These are our expense projections for 23-24. Salaries and benefits are projected at approximately $73.8 million. Purchase services are projected at approximately $112.9 million. This includes services that are provided by the IU, our legal services, transportation, charter schools, approved private schools, etc. For supplies, we are approximately $7.2 million, and this includes our general supplies, our gas and electric, books and technology-related supplies. Property is projected at approximately $5.3 million. This includes improvements of grounds and replacement of equipment. Other objects are projected at approximately $7.2 million, and this includes dues and fees, claims and judgments, and the interest portion of our debt service. And finally, our debt service is projected at $14.1 million for a total expense projection of $220.8 million. Next slide, please. These are our revenue projections based on our funding sources. We are projecting our local revenues to be approximately $141.6 million. Our state sources at approximately $63.5. We have adjusted our state budget to be the same level as last year and added a very conservative increase of about $729,000. And that's based on the unknowns with the adoption of our state budget. And finally, our federal sources are projected at $13.7 million, bringing our total projected revenues to $219 million. So based on our expenses and our revenues, we will be using $1.8 million of our fund balance to balance our budget for the 23-24 school year. Next slide, please. So what we have here is our fund balance history. Our preliminary numbers for 22-23 show an additional increase in our fund balance of approximately $8.2 million. Please keep in mind that this is a snapshot in time and reflects our revenues and expenses as of yesterday. So this number will change as we finish out the school year and also upon the completion of our audit. And then as you can see for 23-24, we are reflecting the $1.8 million decrease in our fund balance, which again, we are using to balance our budget. Next slide, please. So what we have here is a look at our millage. Our current millage rate for 22-23 is 41.219. We are proposing a 1.46% increase to fund our budget for 23-24. That will take our millage rate to 41.819. As a reminder, as we mentioned last time, this 1.46% increase is tied directly to our master facility plan and the debt service of that plan. Next slide, please. So here's our budget timeline. We are at the final stage of our timeline, which is the adoption of our final budget here tonight during the special board meeting. And that's all that we have. Is there any questions?
Ms. Diefendorfer, not a question, just a comment. Thank you so much for all your hard work in balancing this budget. I know for a fact that you have not left a stone unturned. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for your hard work and your staff.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you also. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to agenda items. For the first, I'd like to make a motion to remove items X and Y. Do I have a second?
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. A,
So we-
financials, yep,
Just for clarification,
Sure.
Ms. Mills, we are removing agenda items X and Y. Thank you.
Item A, financial statements, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the financial statements, bills payable list as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. B, general fund budget and tax resolution 2023-2024. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the general fund budget and tax resolution as presented in the amount of $220,800,000 for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, with a real estate tax rate of 41.819 mils of the assessed valuation 4.1819 per $100 of assessed value, and a realty tax transfer tax of 0.5%, and earned income tax of 0.5%, and a local service tax of $5. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. C, School Homestead Farmstead Resolution 2023-2024. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Homestead Farmstead property tax reduction amounts as presented in the amount of $328.29 per homestead farmstead, with an assessed value exclusion of $7,850.14 per homestead farmstead. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. D, approval for authorization of budget transfers for 2022-2023. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors authorizes the administration to make final budget transfers and assignments for the completion of the 2022-2023 fiscal year financial reports, with subsequent board approval of such necessary action at the acceptance of the final audited financial statements. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. E, Ash Park Holdings Tax Assessment Appeal. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the stipulation for settlement agreement regarding a 2021 school district initiated tax assessment appeal concerning Ash Park Holdings, owner of a property located at 45 South 4th Avenue, Coatesville, as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. F, GASB 75 Valuation and Related Services Agreement, PA Trust Contract. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the contract with Pennsylvania Trust in an amount not to exceed $8,625 for actuarial services from Conrad Siegel to calculate GASB 75 amounts related to post-employment benefits as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. G, Valbridge Property Advisors District Initiated Appeals. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the quotation from Valbridge Property Advisors for professional services to provide assessment analysis to the school district at the cost of $4,750, appraisal reports at the cost of $1,500 to $4,500 each, and summary reports for trial at the cost of $850 to $4,500 each, depending on the property type as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. H, Lamb Lane PC District Initiated Appeals. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Lamb McErlane PC to provide legal services for district-initiated assessment appeals at a cost not to exceed $10,000 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. I, Crest Contract Renewal. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the renewal of July 1, 2023, July 30, 2024 contract with Crest as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. J, CCIU Marketplace Services Contract. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 2023-2024 contract agreement with the Chester County Intermediate Unit, CCIU, to participate in its marketplace programs at the most recently adopted marketplace price schedule from July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. K, CSIU Computer Services Contract. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 2023-2024 contract agreement with the Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit, CSIU, to participate in its software services, including the Financial Information System and SC View Doc Management System applications, with the attached price schedule from July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2024, as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. L, Criticare Independent Contractor Renewal Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the independent contractor agreement with Chad's Ford Alterna Care, Inc., DBA Criticare, to continue to provide registered nurses, RNs, at the rate of $66 an hour, licensed practical nurses, LPNs, at the rate of $56 an hour, and personal care assistants, PCAs, at a rate of $30 per hour for the 2023-2024 school year as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. M, Avena Healthcare Provider Agreement for Healthcare Services. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the contract extension with Epic Health Services PA LLC, doing business as Avena Healthcare, to provide healthcare services to students from July 1, 2023 through the close of business on June 30, 2024, at no increase in rates as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. N, Independence Blue Cross IBX Renewal Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 3-year proposed renewal agreement with Independence Blue Cross IBX for administrative services relating to the health care insurance provided to Coatesville Area School District from July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2026, as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. We have a couple donations here. The first is from the Frederick Douglass Institute of Westchester University Literacy Program. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the donation from Frederick Douglass Institute, Westchester University, of 400 books for elementary level literacy program valued at approximately $2,695.50 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. P, Giant Food Stores donation for 2023 commencement exercises. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the donation from Giant Food Stores in Thorndale for 60 cases of bottled water at a value of $240 for friends and family refreshment during the 2023 commencement exercises as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, thanks for the books. Thanks for the water. Graduation was a wonderful event, and we appreciate the Giant helping out. Q, Frontline invoice, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the frontline invoice number INVUS 185697 in the amount of $16,629.40 for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024, as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote,
Yes.
Yes.
and yes. Item R, GHR Education 2023-2024 rate sheet. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the GHR Education contracted services rate for the 2023-2024 school year as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote,
Yes.
Yes.
and yes. S, Coatesville Area Teamsters Local Union Number 384 Collective Bargaining Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors ratify and approve the complete collective bargaining agreement between the school district and the Coatesville Area Teamsters Local Union Number 384 as presented. The President and Secretary are hereby authorized to execute the agreement, and the superintendent shall ensure that it is posted on the district's website. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote,
Yes.
Yes.
and yes. And good news to that. T, addition of one music teacher position. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve, effective 2023-2024 school year, the addition of one music teacher position to replace one technology education woodshop teacher position for the Coatesville Area Intermediate High School as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Dr. Van Voren, you're going to take a moment and explain how the swap happens, please?
Sure. So every year when we look at the classes that are offered, especially those that are elective classes, such as a woodshop or a music class, we look at how many students are registering for that course. Over the years, student interests have changed. And so student interests are more geared towards STEM or computer science or things within music. And so the goal here was to replace a woodshop class with a class that is music oriented, that will actually be looking at music and technology to make it a more popular offering for our students.
Thank you. Call for the vote,
Yes.
Yes.
and yes. U, elimination of one technology education woodshop teacher position. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve, effective at the end of the 2022-2023 school year, the elimination of one technology education woodshop teacher position to be replaced with one music teacher position at the Coatesville Area Intermediate High School as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote,
Yes.
Dr. Van Voren, before I cast my vote, I am correct with my understanding that we did not have a teacher in that position the entire last school year, correct?
No, yes, we are not eliminating a position that was filled with anyone. The numbers have gone down within that program, and we did not have a teacher within the woodshop class to offer it.
Thank you. Yes.
and yes. V, creation of one extra duty garden club advisor. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the creation of one extra duty garden club advisor position for the Scott Sixth Grade Center. The position was a pilot for 2 years and moving to a permanent position. This position will pay 100 units. The rate pay will be determined by experience and will be effective beginning the 2023-2024 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote,
Yes.
Yes.
and yes. W, creation of one extra duty STEM club advisor. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the creation of one extra duty STEM club advisor position for East Fallowfield Elementary School. This position was a pilot for 2 years and moving to a permanent position. This position will pay 110 units. The rate of pay will be determined by experience and be effective beginning the 2024 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Before I cast my vote, just a comment. It's nice to see that these pilot programs have been successful enough to now make them permanent positions. And yes,
And yes, I agree. Z, Memorandum of Understanding CATA. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Memorandum of Understanding between the Coatesville Area School District and the Coatesville Area Teachers Association as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
second,
Call for the vote?
Yes.
yes.
Yes. We have the Human Resources Report online for you to review, along with account codes, medical claims, and
Ms. Mills, we have to vote on the Human
Oh, wait a
Resources
minute.
report. It's an agenda.
I
item.
am so sorry. I got caught up in the moment. AA, Human Resources Report. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the resignations, appointments, new positions, leaves of absence, transfers, change of status, corrections as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
Call for the vote?
Yes.
yes.
And yes. I think it was going through the alphabet and hitting AA. Okay, we have informational items posted online. Is there any old business? Any new business? How about public comment? Thank you. Colleen Macalino. Is Colleen here? Thank you. I hope I got your name right. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, I am Colleen. Do I have to talk into this, or can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Good evening, I am Colleen Macalino, and I live at 184 Lafayette Road in Coatesville. I was born and raised in Coatesville. My husband and I both graduated from Cash, along with our 2 children. I was here tonight to talk about 2 agenda items listed that have been since removed. The reason I wanted to talk about these items is because they involve a good friend of ours, Jason.
Ms. Macalino, I am so sorry to interrupt you.
Yep.
But those items have been removed from the
So-
committee. You are more than welcome to speak on any topic after the regular board meeting.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
We'll give him a chance to sign up again or hold the list.
Ms. Macalino, when you come up at the end of the regular board meeting, you can just sign in again, please.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next meeting will be on July. Oh, Lori Shannon Bailey.
Thank you, Ms. Diefenderfer. Good evening. I wanted to just comment on the financial statements. Ms. Diefenderfer, I was glad to see that you mentioned I always get it mixed up, but it's the section where we have lawsuits, if you will. That was not clear in the beginning, but I saw that you did have that in the beginning. And I'm not remembering what the terminology is, but I think you know what I mean. So the other thing I wanted to compliment on is letter B. Okay, so I have some questions in general about the fund budget. And I guess the one main question is, how did you all determine $1.8 billion to be taken from the general fund to help balance the budget? I'd like to know, how did you come up with that number and what was the justification for that? And then looking at the $63,000, that's an increase from the state funds. That's an increase from your prior presentations, which were, I think, in the 50s. So the $63,000, is based on what the governor gave, what Harrisburg provided our school district last year. And last year was the highest amount of funding that any school district had ever gotten, I believe. So I think there's just so many questions about this, like, for example, with the new budget, and I know we can't really make decisions on that, and we can't really speak on it because the governor it's not been passed yet, but there's like $2.5 billion, I think he allotted for mental health funding. So essentially, we could get a lot more money than what you proposed here. And I just am asking if we can please just be really transparent with the money that we get from Harrisburg. I think, level up funding, we got level up funding last year. I've never seen that anywhere on our budget. I had to ask for it last year, and President Fisher was kind enough to find, that we did get that. But, we've gotten a lot of money within the last couple of years. And I'm just asking for complete transparency on what we're getting in terms of the money that we're spending as taxpayers. Thank you.
Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, and I adjourn the Finance Committee meeting at 6:25. I call to order the Education Committee meeting for June 13th, 2023. First is the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes?
Motion.
Ms. Harris, can you hear us? And if you're speaking, your voice is not coming through. Try again. Oh, you can hear her through the, did you hear her? Okay, call for the vote.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to wear it. Oh, thank you. Okay. A, spring data presentation. Jason Palaya, Cassandra Jones, and Lynn Mancinelli. All right, I'm going to take it back when she votes, okay? Or I'm going to get her on here.
Good evening, Board of School Directors, Dr. Van Voorn, community members. I want to thank you for this opportunity to give you an update on some of our glows and grows through the 22-23 school year. I know you've heard me say in the past, we realized coming out of the pandemic that we've had a large learning loss. However, as you know, we as a district feel that that learning loss was occurring prior to the pandemic, and we had an opportunity to make some changes within the district, focusing on our curriculum, making sure that it was aligned to school standards, making sure that we had interventions to support the learning loss of our students. As we came out of the pandemic, the Educational Service Department put into motion a lot of different procedures and processes to ensure that we had a structured curriculum from K to 12, specifically focusing on English language arts and literacy first. You've heard it come out of my mouth, Cassandra's and Lynn's. Literacy is equity, and we want to make sure that when our students are leaving us, that they are able to read and function on the grade level that they're supposed to. I want to take an opportunity to thank the teachers. Going through change is never easy. The amount of change that this district has seen in curriculum work over the past 3 years is immense. No district has tackled in this county what we have tackled as a team, what our teachers had implemented within the classrooms. So I want to make sure I thank them first and foremost. I also think it's important to thank our parents. The other night I had a wonderful opportunity to close out our awards and scholarship ceremony. And it's no secret that education over the past decade has become extremely difficult. School choice for parents is a tough option with charter schools and private schools. So I think it's important for us to thank our parents for trusting us with their children on a daily basis. but I also think it's a testament to the changes that we've seen over the past couple of years. The changes within our curriculum, the changes with PBIS and the implementation of that within our schools, the fact that the Educational Services has brought in MTSS, a multi-tiered system of supports, so our students can have those intervention periods and we can target their deficits. What we're going to look at tonight is some of the data that we've collected throughout the course of the school year. As I said, we'll have a lot of glows, but we do have some grows within this presentation. Before we move on to that too, I think it's also important to make sure I thank the team that was really leading this charge. Heather Messenger, Lynn Mancinelli, Lauren Danick, my assistant, and Cassandra Jones. This will probably be Cassandra's last official presentation with us. Congratulations to her. She is taking a job in the neighboring school districts in a director's position, Director of Pupil Services, if I'm not mistaken, right? I know she's disappointed, but we're all extremely proud of her for this accomplishment. And I wish the opportunity had presented itself here, but maybe at some point in time in the near future, she can come back and join the Coatesville administration team. She's going to cry. All right, are you up first?
Yeah, I feel like I can't be now.
Cassandra's going to present first.
Good evening, everyone. If you could change the slide, please. So we're going to start with reading and English language arts because it is the most important. Sorry, Lynn. And I want to start by just giving some context to the board as well as the audience. As we go through the presentation, we are going to see lots of strengths, but we're also going to see some areas of needed growth and improvement. So I think it's important to highlight that this is our first year implementing open court reading in grades K to 5 and wit and wisdom in grades 6 and 7. Just like, Mr. Palaia mentioned, change is hard. Our new core resources are vastly different than our previous core resources. And change is difficult, but our teachers really stepped up this year, not that they haven't in previous years, but they embraced the change. And we saw tremendous growth throughout the course of the year in terms of implementation. And the hope is that moving forward, each year we're going to see that the process becomes a little bit easier for them, and we're going to see that continuous improvement in our student data. And obviously, like anything, we need to reflect on what we're doing, make sure that it's what's best for kids, and make adjustments as needed. I do want to mention that our current 2nd and 3rd grade cohorts were impacted the most by COVID. School closures and disruptions to learning during kindergarten and 1st grade years, which are pivotal years in terms of reading development. We have, obviously, coming out of the pandemic, our students are struggling in a variety of ways, struggling with mental health, social emotional development has been impacted. We have students that still are not attending school regularly, and just some general issues that we need to address through that MTSS framework to ensure that we're providing preventative, proactive supports to students to meet all of their needs. And so I just want to mention again that there are a variety of factors that impact student achievement and growth that fall outside of the realm of curriculum and instruction. And then last but not least, which is most important, is we have to be responsive to the data, and we all are already being responsive to the data in terms of reallocating resources to buildings that are neediest, and we're making those decisions based on need, where historically in the past that was not always the case. And so we're doing things like reallocating existing reading specialist positions, both district and contracted, to ensure that our neediest elementary buildings have 2 reading specialists where we're able to provide that. Next slide. So first we're going to tackle our kindergarten data. And I would say this is definitely a point of pride for us currently. So we started the year at 37% of our students at or above benchmark, and we ended the year at 62%. What I will tell you is of the students that started with us and ended with us, 65% of those students ended the year at or above benchmark, which is huge. What I think is even more impressive, though, and indicative of the direction that we're going, is that the number or the percentage of students that fell in that well below benchmark range decreased from 42% at the beginning of the school year to 17% at the end. That means that only 65 students district-wide will go into first grade needing intensive reading support. So that's a huge, huge win for us. Again, is the data where we want it to be? No, but I think coming out of a first-year implementation, the growth that we're seeing is extremely impressive. One thing I want to highlight that's not on the slide is that at the end of the school year, there is not a benchmark for whole words read, but as a district, our district average was 3.9 and the benchmark is 0. So our students are reading. They're leaving kindergarten and they're reading, which is fantastic.
Yeah, Cassandra had a good point about the data and making sure it's accurate. This is the class, though, that will have the greatest impact from our new programs, Open Court. This is the class that will have Open Court from kindergarten through 5th grade. So this is the class that we need to take a look at and focus on as we move through the next several years, because they will have the full impact of a full implementation of a new program.
Next slide. And while we're switching slides, if I could comment, I know that oftentimes we will get questions from the community regarding when we will see, the positive impact on our state test scores. I hope that we will see a positive impact this year, but ultimately, I think we'll see a significant difference when this current kindergarten cohort gets to 3rd grade. This is our multi-year comparison for kindergarten, and you will see basically we're looking at our 3-year cohort data. So you'll see our data from the last 3 school years. Blue is spring of 21, orange is spring of 2022, and the gray is our current data. So this is looking at the percent of students at or above benchmark. We went from 20 to 57 to 62. And if you remember correctly, mid-year last year, around November, we started implementing MTSS. And then mid-year, with the assistance of the district reading specialist, we created a phonics scope and sequence, and we rolled that out around Thanksgiving break. So we kind of dumped our previous core program, and we focused on those foundational skills. And it had a significant impact on our student data last school year. Next slide. So now we're going to take a look at first grade. We went from 45% of students at or above benchmark to 50, so not as much growth, and then we decreased well below from 40 to 41. What I want to note, again, is exactly what I just mentioned when we were looking at that 3-year kindergarten cohort data. Last year, we started the year with our previous core program. We did not roll out MTSS until November, and it was a slow rollout, and we didn't actually do anything to our core curriculum until around Thanksgiving winter break. Okay, so students, even though our data looked better last year, we still had many students coming into first grade not necessarily ready for the rigor of a first grade curriculum. And so even examining the skills that Open Court, our new core program, expected students to have coming into kindergarten versus the skills that most students were coming into first grade with, there was a significant difference. And so that's where the intervention comes into play. We analyzed classroom level data, put in place tier 1 class-wide intervention where appropriate, but we still have ground to make up with many students. Next slide. Again, this is looking at our 3-year cohort data for first grade. So even though we didn't see as much growth, when you're looking at the 3-year comparison, you'll see that there has been growth over the last 3 years. So we went from 32% of students at or above benchmark to 33 last school year to 50 at the end of this school year. So again, we're on a nice trajectory. Are we where we would like to be? No, but we're certainly better than where we were. Next slide. Here we're going to look at 2nd and 3rd grade data. And again, at the beginning of the presentation, I noted the impact that COVID had on these 2 cohorts of students. So for 2nd grade, we moved from 49% to 50, so very minimal growth or progress there. But what I will tell you too, that's not necessarily reflected on these charts. Well, it is. You'll see the increase in the averages. You can see that in terms of composite scores. There is growth occurring. It's just not enough growth to move students between indicators. So moving from well below to below, below to at to above. And you'll see that steep increase in our averages. For instance, in 2nd grade, our average composite increased from a 133 to a 201, which is significant. And then in third grade, we saw a little bit more growth. We went from 47% at or above benchmark to 51%. And then with well below, we actually decreased from 45% of our students well below benchmark to 39. Okay. And one thing I want to note with the second grade data in particular, it is based off of one measure. So in all of the grade levels, but second grade at the end of the year, the composite score is based on multiple measures. But in second grade at the end of the year, it's solely based on oral reading fluency. Here, we're going to take a look at fourth and fifth grade. And in these two grade levels, we did see some nice growth. We went from 45% to 50% of students at or above benchmark in fourth grade. But what was even more impressive is the decrease we saw in the number of students that were well below benchmark. So we went from 45% of students well below benchmark to 30%. In fifth grade, we went from 37% of students at or above benchmark to 50%, which is huge. That's huge growth. And then well below benchmark, we went from 32% to 29%. In sixth grade, we went from 67% at or above benchmark to 68%. And then what I do want to highlight here in particular is the growth in terms of the number or the percentage of students above benchmark. So we went from 23% of students above benchmark to 33% of students above benchmark, which I think speaks to the rigor of our core curriculum and how it is challenging our students that are at and above grade level. And then with the well below benchmark, we decreased from 17% to 20%. In seventh grade, we were able to maintain achievement. So the students that started at or above benchmark remained at or above benchmark, but we did see some students slide from below benchmark into well below benchmark. Some things I want to highlight for seventh grade. We did have a position that went unstaffed for a number of months. One of our English teachers resigned. We were unable to fill that position. Students were dispersed. Did have multiple instructors throughout the course of the year, and then the position was finally filled. And I do believe that impacted our progress. So I want to note that staffing is a concern. We need consistent staffing. We need teachers that are going to come in at the beginning of the year and stay with us through the end of the school year. That's what our students need. And then we're going to take a look at 8th through 12th grade data. I will tell you we were not able to administer the MAP assessment 3 times this school year due to issues with technology at the beginning of the school year, particularly at the campus level. We were not one-to-one, and we did not have adequate Chromebooks on site to support testing of students at each benchmark or during each benchmark period. We are piloting units from Common Lit 360, so we're not fully utilizing the program, but as we rewrite our secondary ELA curriculum, we are utilizing some of the units from Common Lit 360. In doing that, we did this year give the Common Lit pre, mid, and post assessment. It is a standardized assessment. It is a grade level assessment, unlike MAP, which is an instructional level assessment. So it's more comparable to what you see in terms of Acadians because it's actually telling us where students are performing in relation to grade level standards. It does provide scaled scores, and it allows us to compare student performance to, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of students across the nation. What's reported here are scaled scores, and it shows the growth that our students made from the beginning of the school year to the middle to the end. To give context, in grades 8 through 12, a scaled score of 208 or 209, depending on the grade level, is an average score across the nation. It is considered to be on grade level. So you'll see we started the school year in every grade level, 8 through 12, well below what would be considered on grade level in terms of our district mean. But you'll see at the end of the school year, we were much closer to that on grade level mean or average score. And then you'll see the growth in the final column. And what I did was I compared our local growth to the national growth that was seen. And so you'll see in every grade level, with the exception of 8 and 9, we'll focus on 10, 11, 12, but we'll go back to 8 and 9. Our local growth, no, I'm correct, every grade level but 8. Sorry, I was looking at it backwards. Every grade level but 8, we exceeded the national average for growth. And so I want to highlight in particular 10th, 11th, and 12th, where we greatly exceeded the national mean growth. In 10th grade in particular, our students on average grew 10 points. Nationally, students grew 4 points.
Wow.
And so I think if we stay on this trajectory, obviously our average, our mean score will be hopefully on grade level and more aligned with the national mean or average score. And this assessment in particular is a strong indicator of how students may perform on the Keystone assessment and the PSSA in 8th grade, because it is very similar to what they're going to encounter on that particular assessment. So that is all of my information. I'm going to pause really quickly. Does anybody have any questions or comments, particularly about reading ELA data specifically?
So we put the new program in fully this year.
Correct. This is the first
So
year of formal
This is the first
implementation.
full year. Before
Correct.
that, it was in a few groups that were piloting it. So I think the growth is good. It is sad, the learning loss during the time of COVID, but I'm impressed that we are growing. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's clear by your data that kids given the opportunity and the materials and the instruction they need are catching up and exceeding. So that's good news.
One of the glows to that Cassandra isn't really focusing on is the fact that we really put a lot of effort and supports into the high school and the campus, which is something that we have not done in years. We're so hyper-focused on our little guys and making sure that they have the phonemic awareness skills, the phonics skills, sounds of letters, can pronounce the words. But this year we focused on the secondary, and the results are pretty impressive from what you see. And we put some reading specialists up at the campus to ensure that our students had those supports. And hopefully, again, as we continue these supports, it'll infuse itself into the state testing within the next couple of years.
I had the opportunity at the start of the year to join the teachers in their training on the secondary level with reading in the content area. So at another time, let's talk about, we can do it offline, but I'm curious how that went, because it was really exciting work and important, unless you want to speak to it now. I was highly impressed by that.
So we are continuing that initiative. I believe it was approved on the last board agenda. That is a partnership with Keys to Literacy. And so this year we focused on strategies to support comprehension across content areas. And next year we're going to focus on writing. And our content teachers, science, social studies, ELA, we're all part of that training. And what we're trying to establish are a set of consistent strategies that we're using across classrooms to support students in the area of literacy. And really trying to create a culture where everyone plays a role and everyone understands that whether they're teaching science or social studies, they're teaching reading and writing. And our teachers, it was a tough go at the beginning, but they've embraced it. And I think one huge part of that is the ongoing discussion. We meet monthly now in professional learning communities at the campus. We did have some CCIU support to get that up and running, but I think bringing the departments together to have those ongoing conversations, to share resources, to work together collaboratively, to build out lessons and units is something we need to continue. We also need to make sure that our teachers are getting ongoing professional development and coaching around the resources that we've adopted to ensure that they're being implemented with integrity. I hate the word fidelity, right? Because we need our teachers to be responsive to the needs of their students, and there are times where they need to go off script and they need to do certain things. But what we have to do is stay true to the lesson objectives and the intent behind the lessons, and making sure that we're providing standards aligned instruction. And so all of the things that we're doing, I hope they continue in my absence. I'm confident that they will, because I believe that we have teacher buy-in, and I think teachers feel good about what they're doing, and they should, because they are making a world of difference for our students. And to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Pelayo shared, our teachers worked hard this year. And I know, like I said, there are points of pride in our data, and there are certainly areas that we still need to work on and continue to improve. And certainly students, right? The data represents students, and these are students' lives. And when we talk about literacy, just like Mr. Pelayo said, literacy is equity, and that's going to determine the opportunities that our students have when they leave us. And so we have to take that very seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to take a minute just to echo Jason's sentiments about Cassandra. We are going to really miss her dedication and her expertise. because she really has been the backbone of, our MTSS work. So I want to thank you, Cassandra. We've learned so much from her. So
You have money now.
I do have money now, and that is the bright spot in all of this. So we will be expanding some of our math work. So I'm pleased tonight to be able to share with you information about the math work that's been going on, as well as some of the data that's related to that. So first and foremost, if we start at the secondary level, you know that we've been working on our new core mathematics resources. So this year, we were very pleased to have 16 math teachers who participated in our pilot, and they were teachers of grades 6 through Algebra 2, and they piloted 2 new core resources for us. The core resource Envision was selected by the team for implementation in 23-24. A next step, as far as core math resources, will be the proposal that we are presenting for elementary pilot programs. And we are proposing piloting Envision Math as well as Reveal Math. Another endeavor this year was the purchase last year of IXL Math. And so I have a little bit of a summary here to share with you. Students used IXL both at school and at home. 90% of the usage was at school, but we were pleased to see students also using the tool at home. One glow that we have here is that we had 863 students who demonstrated growth of more than 100 points in IXL. And so typically one grade level would be 100 points. So we've had students who have grown more than a grade level, and that helps us in working towards closing the gaps, some of the skill gaps that we know exist. We also want to put a plug out there for parents to let them know that students can continue to use IXL over the summer, and our teachers have sent home information about that. As far as student usage, all 9 schools exceeded the minimum goal of an average of 15 questions per student per week. And that's a goal that's set forth by IXL. So we were pleased that we were able to meet that goal. Another measure that's important in IXL is skill proficiency. Our students demonstrated an average of 0.5 skills proficient per week. And for next year, we have a goal of increasing that hopefully to 1 skill per week. In 23-24, we will strive to increase the utilization of the IXL study plans. And these study plans are aligned to our core resources, as well as the pilot resources that we're proposing for Reveal Math and Envision Math in the elementary levels. But also there are IXL study plans and skill plans that are aligned to many state assessments, and also some of the assessments that students take as they're working towards post-secondary education. So we want to make sure that they know that they can practice for the PSSAs, the Keystones, and of course the PSATs, SATs, and ACTs, which are all important parts of their pathways. Another new intervention that was brought this year for math is something called Spring Math, and we implemented this in grades 1 through 7. So we trained teachers at the start of the school year, and the daily class-wide intervention began in late October. So a little bit like the ELA, wasn't something that we were able to start on day 1, but we brought teachers up to speed, and they really hit this very hard beginning in October. As we know, our elementary teachers were also, and our middle school teachers were embracing the new ELA resources. So in addition, they had to learn Spring Math as an intervention program. We will likely see additional gains in future years because we will not only be starting a little bit earlier, but as we close the gaps each year, it allows us to move through the sequence more quickly. We also have 4 kindergarten teachers who are willing to pilot Spring Math next year to help us determine if it would be an appropriate intervention at the kindergarten level. So one important point I want to make is the fact that Spring Math supports student growth in the Acadience computation scores. So Acadience is one of the measures that we shared in ELA, and I'll be sharing that data with you in support of mathematics. And I really feel that the effort that the teachers and students put into their Spring Math work has really helped increase these scores. So I'm going to highlight a few here for you. In Acadience, there's several different measures. In 2nd through 5th grade or through 6th grade, they have computation and concepts and applications. So those things to come together as part of a composite. Right here, I'm going to just focus on computation. So in 1st grade, the percentage of students who were at or above benchmark increased from 26% to 48% from beginning of year to end of year. The well below benchmark decreased from 51% to 29%, so it decreased. You can almost see a movement clearly here from that well below moving towards at and above. For third grade, we saw similar gains. We went from 18% to 39%, which was a 21-point increase. And then well below also decreased from 59% to 41%. Similarly, we saw some great growth in fifth and sixth grades. So in fifth grade, at the beginning of year, computation scores, we had 18% of students at or above benchmark. That increased to 39%, so a 21-point increase. And at the same time, the well below benchmark percentages decreased from 59% to 44%. And lastly, talking about sixth grade computation scores, they increased from 15% to 29%, or a 14-point increase. And the well below benchmark decreased from 59% to 53%. Next, I'm going to show some of the similar comparisons that Cassandra has shown for ELA. So this is the, now for Acadian's math, we only have had this in place in 2022 and 2023. So we only have a 2-year comparison. So looking at kindergarten and first grade on the same slide here, this is the composite score, which includes all of the assessments that make up spring math. And in kindergarten and first grade, they have many more assessments, and many of them are sort of a one-on-one assessment, not paper and pencil. In kindergarten, if we look at last year, in spring of 2022, we had 48% of students at or above benchmark. That increased to 57% this year. And in first grade, we went from 37% in spring of 2022 to 53%. So that's a great increase. There was a small change in grading that occurred that I think would have a little effect here. So something to celebrate in their composite scores. Here's where you can see the sort of the actual breakdown, looking at kindergarten. And again, we ended up at 57%. Oh, I'm sorry. Next, please. Thank you. This is the kindergarten summary. So we've moved from 50 to 57% from beginning to end of year. And again, decreased the well below from 32 to 23%. Next slide. First grade, we've moved from 46% to 53%, so an increase of 7, and again, a decrease in well below from 32 to 27%. Moving on, this is sort of the summary of the multi-year comparison for second and third grade. So in second grade, last year in spring, 18% of our students were at or above benchmark. This year, it has grown to 34%. So we've had an increase of 16%. And in third grade, last year, we were at 24% in the spring, and that has increased to 39%. From there, this is the breakdown. As Cassandra mentioned, second grade is a grade that has had a little bit more difficulty in seeing the same amount of growth. What you can't see here, when you're looking at just the composite, you're not able to see computation and concepts and applications. They're the two components. And I believe concepts and applications did have some growth, but we did not see the same in their computation scores. In third grade, we do see an increase, again, over the course of this year. They began at 25% at or above, and that increased to 39%. And a similar decrease in well below from 55 to 40%. So they are closing the gap and moving students from well below to on or above. Going to the summary for fourth and fifth grade, looking at the spring of 2022, we ended the year last year at 32%. This year, we ended at 35% in fourth grade. Fifth grade, there was a larger growth. They started at 24%, or I'm sorry, they ended last year at 24%, and this year we saw growth to 39%, so an increase of 15. One thing that we would notice, and I think that fourth grade teachers would agree, the sequence in spring math was difficult for fourth grade. They spent a lot of time on different subtraction skills. And so it took a little bit longer in fourth grade to move through the sequence. They were a bit slower than in the other grades because that's where they had skill gaps. So hopefully next year we'll see that our third graders coming up to fourth grade made some progress, and hopefully we'll start a little bit further and maybe move a little bit faster through spring math. Fourth grade, again, here's just the summary for this year. An increase of 11 for at or above, a decrease of 9 in well below. Fifth grade, an increase of 8% going from 32 to 40, and then a decrease of 3% for well below. Oh, I'm sorry. Next slide, please. Takes us to sixth grade, and in sixth grade, looking at last year, they ended the year at 16% at or above benchmark, and now we've moved to 25% at the end of this year. Next slide, please. There you go, sixth grade. And then we have one last slide to show their summary. So this year, they began the year at 17% at or above and increased 8 points to 25%. There is a note here, so in our well below, actually that should be increased. I have that written wrong. But there was the same number of students, so the percentage changed, but if you look across, sometimes our number of students changed throughout the year, so we had 180 students that fell in that category. Can I answer any questions for anyone?
So one of the things I hear from my friends who teach is math is practice, right? Practice, practice, practice. And it sounds like you have these intervention tools in place. Give the kids the opportunity to practice, and they can do it during the summer. And that's good.
Right.
And for people who are listening, when we talk about the teachers having so much on them, what happened is we got a lot of money from the government, ESSER funding, and it allowed us to buy materials for learning loss to address that. And there's a window of time that you can spend the money. And we did for our kids. And we thank the teachers for having faith in it and getting through it, and we can see the good results. So thank you for the presentation. Anybody else have something?
To the team, help me remember, I believe it's usually July or so that we get our PSSA and Keystone results.
Preliminary.
I'm asking the team.
Yes, preliminary scores come out somewhere in July, and then final results usually come out in October.
Look forward to seeing them.
This year it was really late, right? With the data. When we see the data, we'll get a comparison, and we're hopeful that, I'm sure we will have an increase with all the work the teachers are doing. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to agenda items. A, Student Field Experience, Immaculata University. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the field experience placement of Immaculata University students with Coatesville Area School District teachers as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mary, can you second? Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. B, WCU Summer Reading Practicum. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the placement of reading practicum students from Westchester University with Coatesville Area School District Summer School Program as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second, Mary? Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. We're having a little technical difficulties, so Mary's on the phone trying to do the Zoom. Thanks for understanding. C, student teaching placements. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the service agreements with, no, wait a minute. The words are missing for student teachers placements. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the student teacher placements from October 23 through December. No, this is wrong.
It says it's a student placement change.
Oh, they're changing the different schools. Okay, let me try again. It's not real clear, sorry. Student teacher placement change. Recommended action that the school, Board of School Directors approve the placement changes for student Estrella Gonzalez. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. D, Integrative STEM Endorsement CCIU. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the service agreement with the CCIU for the Integrative STEM Endorsement for 4 elementary STEM teachers, the cost of which will be paid through the Siemens grant as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. E, out-of-state field trip request, Air Force Junior ROTC. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the out-of-state field trip request for the Air Force Junior ROTC as presented. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. F, dual enrollment MOU DCCC. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the memorandum of understanding for the dual enrollment pathway program with Delaware County Community College as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. G, Liberal Arts Pathways MOU DCCC. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the memorandum of understanding for the Liberal Arts Pathway program with Delaware County Community College as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
And yes. H, Student-Centered Learning Agreement CCIU. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the service agreement with the Chester County Intermediate Union to provide professional development focused on student-centered learning at a total cost of $9,500 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Mary, have yes? And yes. I, WCU, affiliation agreement. Recommended action pending legal review that the Board of School Directors approve the affiliation agreement renewals with Westchester University, which outlines the expectations for educational experience for university students as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
And
yes.
J,
Course Math Pilot Envision Math K-5. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the pilot of Envision Math for math instruction in the amount of $3,367.30 in grades K-5 during the 2023-2024 school year as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. K, Core Math Program Reveal Math K-5. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the pilot of Reveal Math for math instruction in the amount of $6,716.88 in grades K-5 during the 2023-2024 school year as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. L, Open Court Professional Development. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal for Open Court Professional Development in the amount of $104,000 for the 2023-2024 school year as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. M, Camp School ESY Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the ESI agreement with Camp Hill School for students 10008627, 10008300, 10005435, and 10008313 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. N,
Lincoln Center contract amendment. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the amendment to the contract with the Lincoln Center as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Oh, stock, wait. Yes. Oh, stock and leader council proposal. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal for special council services with stock and leader as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Gonna have a long one. P, the Vanguard School 2023-2024 school year enrollment agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 2023-2024 enrollment agreement with the Vanguard School for students 100174990, 10005391, 100169294, 10013030, 10005472, 10018642, 1001125, 1005113, 1007726, 1002919, 1008084, 1006830, 100155530, 100122925, 1005191, 1004377, 1008304 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Q, Vanguard School, yes. And yes, moving on to Q, Vanguard School 2023-2024 ESY agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 2023-2024 ESY agreement with the Vanguard School for students 100174990, 1002919, 1005391, 100169294, 1001330, 100155530, 1001864 1001125, 1005191, 1004377, 1008304, and 1005113 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes, R, Vanguard School 2023-2024 VIP agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the VIP agreement with the Vanguard School for students 1700422, 1700443, and 6000791 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. S, Pathway School, ESY. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the independent contractor contract with the Pathway School for the 2023 ESY program for students 1006923, 1009334, and 1007819 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Hold on for a minute. What Mary doesn't get.
funding for the adjudication of effective life.
T, proposed expulsion 100218847, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 100218747. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Proposed expulsion 1005462, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 1005462 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
No.
Yes. V, proposed expulsion 5000132, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 5001320 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. W, proposed expulsion 1004912, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 1004912 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
No.
Yes. X, proposed expulsion 1005750, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 1005750 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Y, proposed expulsion 100122203, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 1001223 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Z, proposed expulsion 100137761, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 100137761 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. We have some informational items for you. The enrollment reports are posted. Any old business? Any new business? Public comment?
Lori Shannon Bailey.
Lori Shannon Bailey.
Good evening. The Lincoln Center contract about residents have to be hospitalized. I'm just really disappointed in this board for continuing to put our tax dollars into money that we're getting from the state to take care of children who need mental health services and support. There's a young man who was expelled and went to the Lincoln Center initially for 90 days. This child never got in trouble before. He didn't have problems literally until he went to the Lincoln Center. He was beaten by a girl at the Lincoln Center van. Almost nothing happened to the girl that was beating him. It was a horrible experience. This young man is a black man. He comes from a family where there are generational trauma, especially parental abandonment, which I've talked to you all about many times. The Lincoln Center is not the answer. The Lincoln Center is not providing our children with mental health services and support, which is what I've read in several expulsions. They're not doing it. One of my clients through my nonprofit was supposed to have weekly sessions with their therapist. He was assigned a social work intern. An intern doesn't have the knowledge, the educational knowledge or experience that a therapist or a social worker has. So please be mindful, the Lincoln Center is problematic. It's very problematic. And I've spent time at the Lincoln Center. I've talked to families with children there. It is a problem for our students. It truly is. And I'm very, very disappointed in this contract. Please vote no. This is a lot of money. It's almost as if you all are dependent upon our children being bad children. And the only answer is the Lincoln Center. That's not appropriate. That is really not appropriate. And I'm here because I care about these children whose parents and guardians don't care about them. And I too was a child who was not supported. And I too suffered from parental abandonment. As a baby, I still do. Please think about your decisions. Think about these children. They're counting on you all to give them the support that they need. And we have a lot of money in this district for mental health services and support. The Lincoln Center is not the answer. The spring day collection, can I please have a copy of that? It's a lot of information. It seems to be a lot of good information, but as Jones said, we need teachers who are going to be staying here and teaching throughout the school year. Thank you.
And thank you. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. I adjourn education at 7:20.
I'd like to call the order of the Operations Committee at 7:21. Number 2 on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Approval of the May 9, 2023 Operation Committee minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Harville, second.
I'll second.
He's fixing his mic. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think they heard your yes.
Yes.
Okay. Agenda items. Agenda item A, approval of the 2023 summer bus runs. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the list of bus runs for the 2022 summer school and extended school year ESY as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Yes.
We'll call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He said yes.
Mr. Brown, is there something wrong with the microphone?
Yeah, he can
barely hear Brennan.
Sorry, I'm struggling with a little bit of a scratchy throat here.
Let's make sure that the voters or the public, the people watching at home get to deserve to hear all votes. So, all right. Thank you.
Agenda item B, Reeseville fence replacement, gas meter protection. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves the proposal for Vasquez Fencing LLC to replace the fence at Reeseville Elementary School, protecting the gas metering and piping. Cost not to exceed $2,300 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
And yes. Agenda item C, administration building lower level rooftop HVAC unit. Recommend action that the Board of School Directors approves a quote from Elliott Lewis Corporation through the Pennsylvania Cooperative Purchasing Group CoStarz contract number 137-099 for the replacement of one rooftop air handling unit at the Coatesville Area School District Administration Building. This unit supplies HVAC to the lower level of the building. The cost not to exceed $15,890 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions, comments, and or concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
And yes. Agenda item D, stadium restroom sewer piping repair. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves the proposal for IT Landis through the Pennsylvania Cooperative Purchasing Program CoStarz contract number 008-693 to repair and replace the underground cast iron piping and sewer trap located at the district stadium men's home side restroom at a cost not to exceed $17,500 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
And yes. Agenda item E, open gate weapons detection. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves the purchase of 3 additional open gate weapons detection systems from Communications Technologies, Inc. to be reimbursed by grant funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Education, PDE Office of Safe Schools, targeted safety grants for equipment, and the total amount of $49,872.00 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any questions, comments, and/or concerns? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
Yes.
And yes. Mr. Finkbeiner, can you read the next one, please?
Sure can. Letter F, Memorandum of Understanding with Local Police Department. Recommended action, the Board of School Directors approve the memorandums of understanding with the Coatesville Area School District Police Department and Townships of West Brandywine Police Department, West County Police Department, Cowan Township Police Department, South Coatesville Police Department, City of Coatesville Police Department, and Valley Township Police Departments establishing procedures to be followed when certain incidents occur on school property, at any sponsored activity, or on a conveyance as described in the Safe Schools Act as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Letter G, Jotten Roofing Contractors, partial roof replacement at Coatesville Intermediate School and Coatesville Senior High School. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the bid received from Jotten Roofing Corporation for partial roof replacements at the Coatesville Intermediate School, roof area number 17, and Coatesville Area Senior High School, roof areas 3 and 12, at a total cost of $1,258,335 as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Letter H, chiller condenser fan motors and blades, chiller 1 and 3. Recommend action. The Board of School Directors approve the quote from Elliott Lewis Corporation through Pennsylvania's Cooperative Purchasing Program, CoStar's contract number 137099, for the replacement of 2 fan motors and 2 sets of blades on outdoor chillers 1 and 3 at the Coatesville Area Senior High School. The unit supplies chilled water to the HVAC system for cooling. Total cost not to exceed $6,190 as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll try it. It sounds a little weird, but we'll go. HVAC unit pool area. Board of School Directors approves the quote for Elliott Lewis Corporation through the Pennsylvania Cooperative Purchasing Program, CoStar's contract 137-099 for the replacement of 1 exhaust fan motor and 1 supply fan motor, including pulleys and brushes at the Coatesville Area Senior High School pool. This unit supplies heating and cooling to the pool area. Total cost not to exceed $5,205. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any questions, comments, and/or concerns? Hearing none, I will call for the vote.
Yes.
And yes, Mr. Finkbeiner, I'm going to ask you to.
You got it. I will pinch it.
Thanks.
Letter J, summer cleaning support, Transcend Facility Management. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Transcend Facility Management Company, LLC, to provide the district with 4 custodial workers cleaners, 5 days per week, 8 hours per day, per person, to provide summer cleaning efforts at the intermediate high school. Cleaning services will be provided on an as-needed basis and billed on a per custodian rate at $24 per hour. Transcend will provide labor, uniforms, and background checks as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Letter K, cleaning services, stadium, bathrooms, Transcend Facility Management, LLC. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors ratify the proposal from Transcend Facility Management Company, LLC, to provide cleaning services to the athletic stadium for recent and upcoming events on an as-needed basis at a rate of $24 per hour as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Letter L, Riverside Technologies Administration Laptop Purchase. Recommend action that the Board of School Directors approve the quote from Riverside Technologies for the purchase of 2 new computer laptops in the amount of $2,798 for the Technology Department and the Superintendent's Office respectively as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments? See none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Letter M, Canvas Learning Management System Annual Subscription Renewal. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the license and subscription renewal fees from Infrastructure for the renewal of its web-based learning management system, Canvas LMS, at a total cost of $40,596.30 for the term of August 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any questions or comments? See none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Letter N, Chromebook purchases, 3rd grade, 6th grade, and 9th grade students. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the quote from Riverside Technologies Incorporated RTI for the purchase of 1,000 Chromebooks and protective shells in the amount of $325,000 as presented. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Dr. Van Voren, we've purchased quite a few devices over the last 2 years. Could you just provide a little bit of insight on the reasoning for the 100,000 Chromebooks? Man, we got a big problem. For the 1,000 Chromebooks and the shells, just for some context on purchasing yet again some additional Chromebooks.
Okay, so when the district first purchased Chromebooks, as you know, technology becomes outdated very, very quickly. And with the onset of COVID and taking the laptops home, we had a lot of laptops come back damaged, not come back at all. So we also had some that just malfunctioned or due to the age of the device themselves, they have passed on. So with this, we are purchasing new laptops because within our technology program, we renew technology during those years that you see there. So 3rd, 6th, and 9th grade students get new technology that then follows them throughout that building. So that is why we are purchasing updated laptops.
Thank you. To my colleagues, any other questions? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Yes. Informational items, we have grass cutting RFP. Ms. Diefendorfer or Dr. Van Voren, can we provide a little context on the RFP for grass cutting? Actually, Ms. Diefendorfer, I unrightfully put you on the spot there. That is not your agenda item.
That's right. We have Mr. Dan Pellegrin in the audience. He'll give us some information
Mr.
on the
Pellegrin
RFP.
is the subject matter expert.
Good evening, board and the public. In reference to the RFP for grass cutting, what we did was we went out, the bid that was originally being honored was done in 2020, and it was not all inclusive. So there were many items throughout the district that were not getting grass cutting and lawn maintenance done to. For instance, the tennis courts over at Scott Field itself, Scott Middle School, Better Building, Facility Building, Administration Building. All of these items were not part of that original contract. So what we did was we went back out to bid as the bid was ending its term, which was a 3-year term. We went back out to various contractors for an RFP and received new bids that were all inclusive, and the lowest bidder, the lowest responsible bidder, was a company by the name of Weaver Landscaping. So the company Deerfield Landscaping, who is currently doing our landscaping today, they were $32,000 higher than the Weaver Landscaping bid.
Thank you, Mr. Pellegrin. To my colleagues, any questions, comments, or concerns? Thank you, Mr. Bellamy. Is there any old business or new business? We do have Ms. Shannon Bailey for public comment.
Just to comment on some comments that Dr. Harville Brown has made in the past. In terms of contracts, it would be nice to increase the number of African-American or minority contracts. And I'm pretty sure that there are many Hispanic or Black or African-American contractors that would be more than happy to submit contracts if it's not too late. But anyway, it would be good for the district to consider increasing the minority contracts. So the Chromebook purchase for 6th, 9th, and 3rd grade, and thank you, Dr. Van Warren, for your explanation. But I guess my question is, what happens if a senior needs a Chromebook and we need to order more? I mean, do we have Chromebooks put aside for that situation? There was a senior at the beginning of this school year, didn't have a Chromebook. It was well into September, and she didn't have a Chromebook. Thank God she's graduating, just one of my students. Or one of the students I advocated for. So I just want to be assured that no student, again, Ms. Jones mentioned this in her presentation, no student would go without a Chromebook if indeed he or she needs one. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shambelli. The next meeting will be Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, and we'll adjourn the Operations Committee at 7:37 p.m.
I'd like to call to order the policy committee meeting. Number 2 is approval of the minutes. Recommended action, approval of the May 9th, 2023 policy committee meeting minutes. Do I have a motion? Recommended action, approval of the May 9th, 2023 policy committee meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I will, as you can hear, Mr. Roon is struggling a little bit, so I will fill in for him and I will make the motion.
Did Mary second? Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to agenda items. Letter A, policy 334.1, sick bank. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the policy 334.1 sick bank as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This is a new policy based on the new CATA contract.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter B, policy 627, district initiated tax assessment appeals. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the policy 627, district initiated tax assessment appeals as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This policy has been revised to reflect PSBA changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes. Letter C, policy 800, records management. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the policy 800, records management as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There is no change.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter D, policy 800.1, electronic signatures, records. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the policy 800.1, electronic signatures, records as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This policy has been revised to reflect PSBA changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter E, policy 801, public records. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the policy 801, public records as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes to this policy.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter F, Policy 802, School Organization. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 802 School Organization as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This policy has been revised to reflect our current district building makeup.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter G, Policy 803, School Calendar. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 803 School Calendar as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This policy was also revised with PSBA changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter H, Policy 804, School Day. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 804 School Day as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes to this policy.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter I, Policy 805.1, Relations with Law Enforcement Agencies. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 805.1, Relations with Law Enforcement Agencies as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This is a new policy explaining our memorandum of understanding with local law enforcement agencies and the completion of our Safe Schools report.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter J, Policy 805.2, School Security Personnel. The recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 805.2, School Security Personnel as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This has been revised to reflect guidelines for our school's security personnel.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter K, Policy 806, Child Abuse. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 806, Child Abuse as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter L, Policy 807, Opening Exercises, Flag Displays. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 807, Opening Exercises, Flag Displays as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter M, Policy 808, Food Services. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 808, Food Services as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This policy is revised. There were PSBA changes, and there was an addition of information regarding community eligibility provisions.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter N, Policy 810.1, School Bus Drivers and School Commercial Motor Vehicle Drivers. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 810.1, School Bus Drivers and School Commercial Motor Vehicle Drivers as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
Again, this is revised to reflect PSBA changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter O, Policy 810.2, Transportation Video Audio Recording. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 810.2, Transportation Video Audio Recording as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13th, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
No changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter P, Policy 810.3, School Vehicle Drivers. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 810.3, School Vehicle Drivers as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There is revision with language added for self-reporting from drivers.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Letter Q, Policy 811, Bonding. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 811 Bonding as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
No change.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter R, Policy 812, Property Insurance. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 812, Property Insurance as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
No changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter S, Policy 813, Other Insurance. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the approve the 813 Other Insurance as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter T, Policy 814, Copyright Material. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 814, Copyright Material as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
No changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter U, Policy 815, Acceptable Use of Internet, Computers, and Network Resources. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 815, Acceptable Use of Internet, Computers, and Network Resources as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Comments?
No change.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter V, Policy 816, District Social Media. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 816, District Social Media as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This has been revised to reflect the PSBA update.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter W, Policy 818, Contracted Services Personnel. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 818, Contracted Services Personnel as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter X, Policy 819, Suicide Awareness, Prevention, and Response. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 819, Suicide Awareness, Prevention, and Response as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
No changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter Y, Policy 822, Automated External Defibrillator Cardiopulmonary Resuscitation, CPR. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 822, Automated External Defibrillator, AED, Cardiopulmonary Resuscitation, CPR, as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter Z, Policy 824, Maintaining Professional Adult Student Boundaries. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 824, Maintaining Professional Adult Student Boundaries as presented, and if approved, to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Letter AA, Policy 828 Fraud. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 828 Fraud as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Letter BB, Policy 830 Breach of Computerized Personnel Information. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors review and approve the Policy 830 Breach of Computerized Personnel Information as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
There are no changes.
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Letter CC, Policy 832 Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Policy 832 Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion as presented, and if approved to move forward, that the agenda item be placed on the agenda of the June 13, 2023 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
This is a policy that came with recommendations from PSBA.
Call for the vote.
Before I vote, Madam Chair, is
So
this
this is
what
what
we
we
discussed
discussed
that
that
we
we
were
were
going
going
to
to remove this evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
No. No.
No. Moving on to informational items, these are all the ARs that go with the policies that I just read. There's no old business, no new business. I don't believe there's any public comment when I checked. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, and I will adjourn the policy meeting at 7:50 p.m.
I'd like
I'd
to
like to
call
call
to
to
order
order
the
the
February
February
School
School
District
District
Board
School
meeting
Board
on
meeting
Tuesday,
for Tuesday, June 13th,
2023.
2023.
Agenda
Agenda item 1B, reading of the mission
Mission
statement. The mission of the Coatesville School District, rich in diversity and committed to excellence,
is to
is to
create
create innovative educational experiences
which are
which are funded by the taxpayers, supported
by
by the community,
delivered by
dedicated teachers and administrators to ensure all students will become responsible, contributing global citizens. Agenda item 1C, advisement. By notice of the President, board members are advised that all votes shall be regarded as roll call vote. The minutes should also note that public notice was given for this meeting in accordance with Act 3 of 1998, Section 1. School board meetings shall proceed in accordance with school board policy. Madam Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Rob Fisher.
Here.
Brandon Moe. Ardell Brown. Holly Sherrill.
Mrs. Stress is excused this evening.
Andrew St. Connor.
Here.
Becky Harlan. Mary Ann Harris. Here. Amelia Lowe. Here. Jennifer Shaw.
Agenda item 1E. At this time, would everyone please stand for a moment of silence and salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item number 2, to my colleagues, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda this evening? Any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, I would like to bring clarity to the fact that there were some items that did not make it through the committee tonight that will appear on the agenda. Those items would be under finance, agenda item K, and agenda item L. And under policy, agenda item CC. Those items did not make through committee, so therefore they will not be discussed and brought up as an action item this evening. Any other additions, deletions, or modifications?
Seeing none, we will move on to public comment. The board has requested all persons making comments on agenda items to list the name, address, telephone number, and motion items on the sheet provided. There is a 3-minute time limit per person. The board does not take action or discuss items that do not appear on the agenda. The board values public comment and wishes to convey that although board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, they listen carefully and appreciate and value input from the public. Lori Shannon Barrett.
Good evening. I wanted to just note the April report, which has a series of teacher resignations. I've talked to you all about this issue before, and everyone's commented appropriately about the teachers. And the situation that she explained, where we didn't have a teacher, which was problematic. This is why I recommend students to go through Avenue Farms. The other reason is because I was treated horribly by many administrators here and many teachers. So schools like, I can say all high-level districts surrounding districts, west of downtown. Any really low school districts. They don't have these problems, I don't think. I don't think they have a teacher not present in one particular grade. We probably had more teachers, I'm not sure. But when we talk about, and I talk about a student for this district, this is what I mean. And making sure that we're doing everything within our means to make sure that our academics are top notch and that they exceed Avenue Farms School. That's what we want. That's why I'm here and every one of you, because our children, yes, those that are abandoned by their parents, those that are not supported, they still need a world-class education. So please be mindful of the need to hire teachers and to make sure, as yourselves said, there is teachers in every classroom for every grade, for every child. The other thing I wanted to comment on, Ms. Speaker, picking on you again, so to speak. So I have the legal fees from July 2022 and then from April of 2023, and I saw Jeanette, the ones for May in the minutes tonight. So I guess I'm just, I don't understand why we have 2022 connected to 2023. I'm not sure why we couldn't do like a calendar year. And looking at some of my old notes under Dr. Kessler, there was no overlap the way this is. And the numbers don't seem to be, they seem to get lower. For example, in the end of April, this number is lower than what you have the total legal fees for the month of May. And maybe we didn't have any legal fees in May, but it just seems very, very confusing. And maybe it's just me and my brain, but it would be nice if it could be a little bit more organized so that we could follow a little closer, a lot closer, the legal fees that our tax auditor makes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shannon. Moving on to agenda item 4A, adoption of consent agenda. Recommended motion, the board of school directors approve the consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Committee meeting action items routine will be enacted under one motion unless removes or separate action upon board request. The purpose of the consolidated motion is to expedite government board action on all consent items which are not held for discussion. Items that have been held for discussion by the governing board will be enacted upon at the time the item is discussed. This evening, I would like to remove the following agenda items from consent agenda. Under finance, I would like to remove letter A, financial statements. Letter B, general fund budget and tax resolution 2023-24. Agenda item F, Coatesville Area Teachers Local Number 384 Collective Bargaining Agreement. Letter M, Memorandum of Understanding with data, and letter N, Human Resources Report. Once again, agenda items A, B, F, M, and N.
Under
Under
education,
education,
I
I would like to remove the list of proposed expenses that would include agenda items L, M, N, O, P, Q, and R. Once again, that's agenda items L through R under education.
Are
Are there any other items to be removed from consent agenda this evening?
Seeing
Seeing none, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Rob Fisher.
Yeah.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Andrew St. Connor.
Yes.
Rebecca Harlan. Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Amelia Miller.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Ms. Mills, Finance Committee.
Thank you. A, financial statements. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the financial statements bills payable list as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Call for the vote?
Becky Harlan.
Abstain.
Arvell Brown. Amelia Miller.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Andrew St. Connor.
Yes.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Motion approved.
B, general fund budget and tax resolution 2023-2024. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the general fund budget and tax resolution as presented in the amount of $220,800,000 for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, with a real estate tax rate of 41.819 mils of the assessed valuation, $4,004 and 4.1819 per 100 of assessed value, and a realty tax, transfer tax of 5%, an earned income tax of 5%, and a local service tax of $5. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Ms. Mills, can we give anybody any opportunity for comment?
If you like, sure.
Please.
Sure, any questions, comments?
That's 0.5%.
Sorry. You're right. Nothing? Other than we're happy it's over? Yep, call for the vote?
Rob Fisher.
Yeah.
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Andrew St. Connor.
Yes.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Amelia Miller.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Motion approved.
F, Coatesville Area Teamsters Local Union Number 384 Collective Bargaining Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors ratify and approve the complete collective bargaining agreement between the school district and the Coatesville Area Teamsters Local Union Number 384 as presented. The President and Secretary are hereby authorized to execute the agreement, and the superintendent shall ensure that it is posted on the district website. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments, conversation? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Andrew St. Connor.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amelia Miller.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And memorandum of understanding, CATA. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the memorandum of understanding between the Coatesville Area School District and the Coatesville Area Teachers Association as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any comments?
Ms. Mills, I move this with consent agenda just for a
Roll call vote.
Thank you. Then let's call for the vote.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Amelia Miller.
Yes.
Andrew St. Connor.
Yes.
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yeah.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And Human Resources Report. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the resignations, appointments, new positions, leaves of absence, transfers, change of status, and corrections as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Second. Call for the vote?
Ms.
Ms.
Mills,
Mills, before we call for the vote, if I may, please,
we do have four retirements on this evening's Human Resources report. And the board regrets having to entertain these retirements, but certainly understands all four of these people have served the Coatesville area school district well. Starting with Mr. James Bookman, 35 years as custodian, most recently at the Coatesville area intermediate high school. Had the opportunity to work with Mr. Bookman, and the best thing I can say about Mr. Bookman is he took pride in his work. Took pride in his work. So thank you, Mr. Bookman. Nancy Henderson, 20 years as an aide, again at the intermediate high school. We wish Ms. Henderson the best. Denise Coblentz, food service, 21 years at Rainbow Elementary School. Once again, we wish her the best and a happy and lengthy retirement. And Kathy Buell, 32 years as an elementary school teacher, most recently at East Fallowfield Elementary School. So to all four of our retirees, it is with regret that you leave us, but we do wish you the very best in health and lengthy retirement, and certainly all four are well deserved. Thank you, Ms. Bell.
And thank you. Call for the vote?
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Brandon Rowan.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Andrew Pinkon.
Yes.
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Ms.
Ms. Mills, continue with education committee, please.
Thank you. Education, moving on to item L. Let's go right page here. Just give us a moment. We're straightening some papers out here. Which do? Okay, proposed expulsion 100-21847. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 1002-1847. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Call for the vote?
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes. Mary Ann Harris.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Brandon Rowan.
Yes.
Andrew Pinkon.
Yes.
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And proposed expulsion 100-5462. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 100-5462 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Amelia Mills.
No?
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Andrew Pinkon.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
No.
Arvell Brown.
No.
Mary Ann Harris.
No.
Brandon Rowan.
No.
Motion denied.
And proposed expulsion 50001320. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 50001320 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Arvell Brown.
Yes.
Andrew Pinkon.
Yes.
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Brandon Rowan.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Proposed expulsion 100-4912. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 100-4912 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Brandon Rowan.
No.
Andrew Pinkon.
No.
Rob Fisher.
No.
Becky Harlan.
No.
Mary Ann Harris.
No.
Arvell Brown?
No.
Amelia Mills?
No.
Motion denied.
P, proposed expulsion 10005750. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 10005750 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Becky Harlan?
No.
Arvell Brown?
No.
Amelia Mills?
No.
Rob Fisher?
No.
Andrew Finkbauer?
No.
Brandon Roan.
Brandon Roan?
Mary Ann Harris.
No.
Motion denied.
We're on Q, right?
We are on here, yes.
Proposed expulsion 10012203. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 10012203 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Becky Harlan?
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris?
Yes.
Arvell Brown?
No.
Rob Fisher?
Yeah.
Andrew Finkbauer?
Yes.
Brandon Roan?
Yes.
Amelia Mills?
Yes.
Motion approved.
R, proposed expulsion 10013761. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposed expulsion for student 10013761 as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Rob Fisher?
Yeah.
Andrew Finkbauer?
Yes.
Brandon Roan?
Yes.
Arvell Brown?
Yes.
Amelia Mills?
Yes.
Becky Harlan?
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And I believe that concludes all the items we moved from consent agenda this evening. We'll move on to agenda item 9A, public comment. The board has requested all persons making comments of public concern to list their name, address, telephone number, and topics on the sheet provided. There is a 3-minute time limit per person.
Colleen Magdaleno.
Ms. McElhenney, thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Good evening. My
My name is Colleen McElhenney, and I live at 84 Lafayette Road in Coatesville, Brandon Township. I was born and raised in Coatesville. My husband and I both graduated from CAS, along with our two children. I'm here to talk about some agenda items that for tonight wasn't soon been removed. I still want to talk about these items because they involve a good friend of ours since July. We've known Jason since he was the principal at Friendship Elementary School approximately 16 years ago. He made himself available and responsive with any questions or concerns when it involved our oldest son, who was developmentally delayed. This relationship has continued even after our son graduated 6 years ago and has been good for us because of school district. My husband and I just Challenger baseball for elementary age kids with special needs right here in town. We have worked with Jason getting us into learning support classes so we can recruit players for our team this year. This year alone, we got 7 new additional players from Coatesville. In addition, he has been instrumental in setting up use of the street track for training for the Chester County Special Olympics track team. Before that, we were practicing on a park walking trail in downtown. With all that, I think you can see that Jason has always represented Coatesville, both the city and district, with the best intentions for our community in mind, wearing a red and black travel. I am not going to get into details of the agenda items, but wanted to finish with this. Jason is one of the longest tenured administrators in the district, working through several disciplinary administrations, and in the end, showing his dedication to the school district. These are important agenda items and need more discussion, so we continue improving leadership. I would like all board members to remember my speech and decide the future of the Coatesville Area School District to make sure that Jason Bly played an important role. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mrs.
Mrs.
McNeil.
McNeil.
Dorothy
Dorothy
Evans.
Evans.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
My name
My name
is
is
Dorothy
Dorothy
Evans,
Evans,
and I
and I
live
live
in
in
Westmoreland
Westmoreland
Township,
Township,
Walsh Way. My
My husband and I are proud
parents
parents
of
of
Captain
Captain Jacob
on
on
his
his student
and
and a
a
2022 cash graduate who was currently enrolled in the University of Delaware Honors Program that conducts this semester this year.
I'm
I'm
here
here
to
to
discuss
discuss
the
the
motion
motion
to
to
delay
delay
the
the
possibility
possibility
of
of
the
the
Director of
Director of
Education
Education
Services
Services
position
position
to be replaced by a new role, the superintendent position. I
I understand it's not been
brought
brought
to
to
tonight's
tonight's
agenda
agenda
to be
to be
discussed at a later
later
date.
date.
I
I
appreciate the board
taking
taking a look at these items, but with your permission, I would still like to share my thoughts for your consideration. I am curious as to why the board would propose to eliminate the position director responsible for the district's curriculum and instruction. Prior to the creation of the Director of Education Services position, the district was struggling to meet the needs of its students and programs, and the programs in place were not correcting to standards. Throughout the last 3 years, the Education Services Department has worked to develop a curriculum for core subject areas that are likely to meet the standards. The department has also researched programs and interventions that will support curriculum. By possibly eliminating the Director of Education Services position and replacing the Assistant Superintendent role, is the plan then to be superintendent role to oversee curriculum and instruction? If so, why not change the slides to allow him this team to continue their backward work, moving the district forward? If that is not the case, then what exactly did the plans imply as team? From what I understand, the supply would have to apply to the assistant superintendent position if you choose to do so. But if the position is to continue the team's work, why then waste time and energy resources on an unnecessary hiring process when you have a highly qualified administrator with 24 years of experience who can seamlessly transition to this level? Spring exchange board educating the minimum of the scope of plans to what this role entails and the plans to supply the team makes me wonder if there's more motive to this sudden, unexpected, and significant change in his role in leadership. Now that it's on the table, I always assume the board needs more time to consider this agenda items. As an aside, the legislation change were made recently to split the role of Director of Services into two positions. Why was the creation of this superintendent role not considered? Emphasize that. It seems that it would have made sense to do that. It said that the years supply that IT position being named question, and as well possibly being eliminated without considering the district and the impact this change will have on our district, our teachers, and our students. Mr. Bly has demonstrated dedication, passion, and drive to move the district forward since 23 services. Primary focus has always been to keep the students and their needs first. I expect to understand always with some friendship, and he has continued to offer my family unwavering support to ensure our digital children have received services in education today, and so many other things are right here. So please carefully consider the agenda items. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for your time. And again, real quick, Mr. Bly has put all us time again and works tirelessly for our students with our efforts, integrity, and excellence.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. And
And
Mrs. Evans, congratulations. You said son, correct?
Two dollars.
Oh, two daughters. Daughter, University of Delaware Honors Program, the Dean's List. That's quite an accomplishment. Congratulations. Maria Magdaleno. Thank you.
Ryan, and I'm struggling a little bit with light up here, and I'm struggling with the last name. So Ryan, if you could help me, please. Into the
So Brian Eden, thanks for your time this evening. I live at 111 Millbury Road. I would like to talk about the elimination of the So while I appreciate the need for the leadership shape and the structure of the organization, we stick to the agenda and show the desire of working culture, not entirely clear to me how this moves to benefit either of those at this time. Going into responsibility, those assistant superintendent versus the current role. I don't work in education, but based on relatively thorough review of job postings for both positions, the job responsibilities overlap at a lot of schools at best, and maybe be done there. The assistant superintendent role at this time, about the time. So I did have a lot of stuff about adding another, maybe 6 weeks of salary to the budget, but over $1 billion, what was the budget, I'm not sure that the additional maybe 6 weeks of salary.
Thank you, sir.
Tony
Kevin
Schreiber.
Schreiber.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time sitting through very long meeting. Meetings like this as part of my job, but nothing is small and recent, so thank you. I'm here to talk about the scene. Everyone else been up here to discuss. My daughters, and some of you may know my old daughter, been a couple of years ago, you guys. One of the constants of this school district during the 13 years I've had a student has been Mr. Bly. Mr. Bly helped Allie out last year when there was a difficult situation, and she needed help. She got the nurse. I know he was there. Seems like John on the spot where they tried to put out a fire, sign the victims, suicide, and then he has been a constant and dedicated to the school district. In addition to the different administration, I don't understand, and I made this already, I'm saying, so I hope the legislature. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Lori
Lori Canada.
Aside from the limits of the contract, I reported to consider seriously that you should give the money that we were going to the amount of school is what I did about a program here in Coatesville. I'd like to get some more information about that. I do know that the one child supervisor is about had a hard time at the center mainly because all the folks were in one month. And I was at state level there several times, but this child is there now, and I'm proud that my probably be paid for mental therapy. He struggled when he came back to those in summer. I believe maybe we can do some March. I'm not exactly sure, but he was expelled. His child father signed for an IEP to be evaluated that violation of the child line federal laws. Please, these children are struggling, but this child is going to be okay. We can come back to next week, he's going to be okay. Something getting to he's okay. And I again, I remind you that I'm not talking and glad support financial provide assistance for children who need legal representation when parents give up on them. You can find more about my nonprofit at ckja1youth.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shannon. Are there any
other additional board members reports this evening?
I
I have a quick board member report
reports
this evening.
I have a quick one.
Ms.
Ms.
Mills.
Mills.
We got a bit of an echo here.
I got it.
Last week, I participated with the other directors in Coatesville's graduation ceremony. It was a wonderful night. We shook hands, we handed diplomas, we took a lot of pictures. I saw a lot of funky shoes as fashion statements. But I want to take a moment to thank the parents, family members, extended family members, and friends who provided support and love to these kids through their years at Coatesville until the time of graduation. It was a joy to celebrate that night with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mills. In addition, Mrs. Snyder, congratulations on your appointment this evening. And I too would like to echo the graduation for the class of 2023 was absolutely perfect from the weather. Although we saw some black clouds over the hills, and I know what that does to you. But congratulations on to you and your staff on a beautiful graduation. Trust me, I know the work that goes into that. So thank you. Any other board members' reports this evening?
I'd just like to say, first of all, Dr. Roberts, welcome back. I know you've been through some problems. Good to see you back on the scene. One of the things I want to just mention, and I know it's beating a dead horse, but all these contracts going out, just like Mr. Daniels, I think you said that you were going to make a real effort to make sure our local people work. Okay? And I'm sure you've done that. We're paying a lot of money out. The taxpayers are screaming at us. So I think all the administrators here need to take into account anytime we can take care of our own who pays taxes back to the county and borough, that may take something off the taxpayers. Okay? So I'd just like for you to be very cognitive of that. And the other thing I have, and I apologize because I've read all these schools, but I didn't see Cheney and Lincoln, and I have a big problem with that. I do. Because those schools need to be in here with our kids too, like the rest of these schools. And when that's not happening, I don't think that's right for our kids. So I'd like for all you administrators to keep that in mind along with the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Any others? I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Out of here.
We will adjourn at 8:26.